Good morning. How we doing? Welcome back. Welcome back. Morning. Intense intro music. Good morning, my friends. Another day, another dollar. How'd everyone sleep? Good? Wake up on the right side of the bed today? Buenos dias. Wednesday, October 25th. I'm making an appointment for my barber today. Back from a trip. Feel good to be live with you all. Yeah, man, sometimes coming back from a trip is a great, it's a good time. Sometimes it's a very rejuvenating time to get back at it. Sorry, guys. I don't know why I didn't do this before the stream started, but it's all right. Do I still have Google puts? No, I do not. What's your question, Margin? I don't see a question. Good morning, Chef. Good morning, guys. It's not relevant, Margin. It's just a matter of maybe a little bit of an inconsistency with me drawing lines. There's no real reason behind it. Sometimes the red zone's above, sometimes it's below. The red zone is just a personal way for me to personally watch a certain level. That's all. Why you have a Google but not me? What a day yesterday, huh? All right, my haircut is in the books. All right, guys. So good morning, welcome back. How's everyone doing? Interesting day yesterday. The levels were hot. They were hot. 4280 on the ES was very nice. Beautiful rejection of that level yesterday. But if you guys watched it, if you actually watched the market, right, it was very, very painstakingly slow and required a lot of patience to wait for that rejection to come in, right? And that type of upside move on the ES is where people try to short, right? You keep trying to short it, and if you're not patient enough, you're going to miss the move, right? And so we had this 4280 level. Let me go ahead and pull it up here. We had that 4280 supply level, right? But if maybe you tried to short here before that level, you got maybe stopped out or squeezed out, right? If you tried to set up some shorts here and this squeezed you out, I'm sure that happened to a lot of traders, right? But where was the best short? At the actual level, right? 4280. Again, you can see right here, a little bit of an attempt, right? A little bit of a squeeze through that level, liquidity trap, trying to fake you out, but you have to wait for a clear confirmation above before stopping out of that trade, right? So this is not enough. This should not stop you out of a trade. This right here should never stop you out of a trade. If this stops you out of a trade, it means you're over leveraged, you're emotional, you're scared, right? Because right, this one move should not be enough to make you to not believe in your setup, right? So a little bit of a trap there yesterday. Nice little upside into 4280, very slow, and then this was the trade of the day, right? We were talking about this all morning in the group, the break of this trend into 4280. We caught it very nicely. That was the trade of the day. That was awesome stuff, 4280, and it moved right into that 4240 demand. So we'll go over a little bit more, but the levels were perfect yesterday. They were perfect. The morning was slow. The afternoon had some opportunities, good downside off 42.80 and good upside off 42.40. So nice stuff. Nice stuff. Today, it's going to be, I'm a little interested, right? I'm interested to see how the market reacts today because you have Microsoft moving to the upside off earnings and you have Google pretty aggressively to the downside off earnings. Which one sort of guides us? Is it Microsoft bringing the market higher? Is it Google bringing us lower? How does tech react to that move? That is going to be very interesting today. Is it a push and pull effect and the market stays completely sideways? That is very possible as well. All right, that is very possible as well. We have some more earnings approaching. Meta tonight, Amazon tomorrow. So some big, more big tech earnings approaching, which maybe we need to wait for a clear catalyst. But yesterday, NASDAQ and ES really didn't make any moves off of the Microsoft and Google earnings. I believe if they both went the same direction, you probably would be seeing some movement here. But it's almost like a push and pull here, right, on Microsoft and Google. So interesting stuff. And guess what, guys? Guess what? You are, I don't know if you realize this, but you are opening at the exact same level you opened at yesterday. The exact same level. If you guys remember 42.60, this is exactly where we opened yesterday. You are opening at the exact same level today. So all we did yesterday was supply. What did we talk about yesterday? We talked about waiting for the two sides to hit and taking trades. That is literally exactly what happened. It's exactly what happened. We said wait for the 42.80 for potential shorts, wait for the 42.40 for potential longs, and I can't make it up, man. It is the exact thing that happened. Shorts here, longs here. If you just traded at these levels, you had a good day, right? If you simply just traded at key levels, you had a good day. If you tried to trade in here, tried to do something here, tried to do some random trade there, maybe another trade here, another random trade here, right? It's just not worth your time. At the key levels, that was the trade, right? Very nice stuff there today. Very nice stuff. So that's really a recap of yesterday, but let's get into today. How are we going to make money today? That's what's important, right? Yesterday's history. I hope you guys learned something from it, though, yesterday. That's the key. If you watched yesterday's price action, if you're trying to understand the market a little bit more, if you're a newer trader, I hope that you understand what happened yesterday. I hope that you looking back at that gives you more confidence in trading off those levels, understanding how market action works, right? I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. All right. So let's get into the schedule. As always, economic earnings calendar. Let's go ahead and pop up that earnings calendar because there is more to come here and more potential volatility that we can watch out for. So here it is. This morning, we had Boeing, which I believe is higher in the pre-market. Last night, of course, Microsoft, Google, Snapchat, Visa, Meta, after hours today. That's probably going to be your next big one, right? Amazon Thursday, right? Amazon tomorrow afternoon. Amazon, Enphase. Enphase is getting crushed. Altria. And that's really wraps up our week. Exxon, some of the oil names, and then AbbVie on Friday. These three always report together. Exxon, AbbVie, Chevron, always together. So really the main ones to watch here tonight, Meta, tomorrow, Amazon. We took a sick trade on Amazon yesterday, and this is another example of why trading options during this high IV sort of earnings period sucks, right? What did we talk about on Amazon yesterday? We talked about that 129 supply. We got this very nice little uptrend on Amazon intraday into supply. We were entering shorts in the group around this area yesterday, and we got a sick move to the downside. And when I tell you that these option contracts did not move, right? They did not move, right? I think I was up about 10% on this entire move. I caught pretty much this entire move, and I'm pretty sure my contracts were up about 10 to 15% from here to here. On a normal day, that's 40, 50, 60, 70%. Yesterday, my Amazon contracts were up 10%. Okay, so another reminder, right? If you're going to trade something, if you're going to trade tech this week, something that has earnings approaching, you're going to experience some really shitty action in the option premiums due to that high IV. I tried Amazon. I didn't think it would be as bad as it was. it was as bad as it was, right? It was bad. It was worse than I thought. So be aware of that. Understand that. That's very important to understand during earnings season. Yeah. Let's go to the economic calendar. Economic calendar. Pull that up right quick. Tomorrow we got GDP. Today, all we really have is new home sales. So new home sales, 10 o'clock. Really nothing that's too important. Interesting to watch for real estate, of course. But new home sales, 10 o'clock. Tomorrow is where things sort of get more interesting. GDP, 8:30. Jobless claims, 8:30. Yeah, that's really the two main ones tomorrow morning at 8:30. Durable goods, advanced retail inventories, wholesale inventories, pending home sales at 10 o'clock. So tomorrow morning pre-market, get a little bit more heavy on the economic side. Maybe you think twice before swinging something. Speaking today after hours, is he? If Powell's speaking today after hours, then even more of a reason not to swing something, right? Because if you're swinging something today, you're swinging into Meta earnings, GDP, jobless claims, potentially Powell speaking, which I don't see here, but maybe he is. I'll maybe look that up. Those are four things that you probably don't want to swing trade into. You have no idea what's going to happen on that. That's a complete guess. All right, so something to be aware of before you swing trade options overnight, right? Before you swing trade options overnight. Jay Powell speaking today. All right, let me look up where that's coming from. Powell speaking today. Schedule, where is it? Today's the 25th. Okay. Yeah, 4:35. He speaks at 4:35. The 2023 Moynihan Lecture in Social Science and Public Policy. I mean, if you guys are trading at 4:35 today, you need to seriously reconsider. If you're still trading at 4:35, yeah, I'd reconsider things. So yeah, Powell speaking over after hours, so maybe another reason not to swing something. All right, Tesla 217, big ass level today. Something I'm definitely watching. Nvidia 100 SMA above, which is keeping it lower. Something to watch today as well. AMD continues to maintain this 200 SMA. This is interesting to me. Google, this is something I'm watching post earnings, looking for a bounce on Google and a rejection into a key level. I'll point that out today. Microsoft needs to hold this 440 today for any upside. Netflix is continuing to stair step higher very nicely. Something to be paying attention to. And finally, we'll talk a little bit about Apple and how it's been pretty stuck. All right? Let's get into it. Java, welcome. Welcome. All right, guys. So, yesterday, we had two levels to the upside, right? We had two levels to the upside on NASDAQ yesterday. We had the 14.8 and we had the 14.8, 890. How do you guys like the filled candles, by the way? I was going to do this for the live streams. Maybe it makes it a little bit. Did I say, is it 440? And maybe I meant 340. What do you guys think about the candles, the green candles filled? Does it look better? Make it more clear? So hopefully it does. Let me know if you guys like that. All right. NASDAQ futures. Yesterday, we had two levels. We had two levels to the upside on our charts. We had 14.8 and we had 14.890. Right? Those were our two levels. This chart has not moved since yesterday. These are the same exact levels I had on my screen. So what you can see is we had that previous double top, right? Right here and right here, right? Very easy, very clean, it's not easy, not hard to see that, right? You guys can see previous high and previous high, right? So yesterday, the NASDAQ pushed higher in the morning, and where did it push to, right? It pushed right into that level, right? And so what is the only valid trade? And I made this comment in my video yesterday. I would go recommend checking that one out. All right, guys, what is the only valid trade if you are pushing into this double top high? The only valid trade is short side. I don't care what you think. I don't care if you think it's going to break out. It does not matter, right? That's all arbitrary. What matters is that you're pushing into double top highs. You're pushing into a huge rejection point from last Friday. You are not longing into that level. I don't care if you think it's going to break out. It doesn't matter what you think, right? What matters is that supply, and the only valid trade at this point is to short it, right? And that's the only valid risk to reward trade. Longing into this level does not make sense. Even if it does break out, it doesn't make sense. And that's going to build a habit that you do not want, right? You do not want to build a habit of longing into a rejection point, no matter if you were right or wrong, right? If you shorted here and it broke out yesterday, you should not be upset at all, right? Because I'm going to say more than 50% of the time, which would make you a profitable trader, it's going to reject the supply level, right? So if it rejects more than 50% of the time, you want to be on the positive side of that, right? You're not going to want to build a habit of being on the losing side of these levels, right? And so yesterday, all I did was look for shorts at this level, right? That's all I did. I shorted the SPY at 42.80. I shorted Amazon at 129. That was the key yesterday, right? And the reason I was doing that is because we were pushing into supply, right? That's all it was. There was no other valid trade there logically to take. You're not going to long into supply, right? So that was very clear yesterday. You moved lower. You got a big breakdown. Where did you move down into? Right? And you can see, right here, 14,700. That was our demand. Let me see if I can look this up. I would love to show you this. One second, because this is very key. This is a very good learning opportunity here. One second. Here it is. All right. So this is yesterday in the group, right? And this is the most important thing about paying attention to what's happening on the intraday. All right. So yesterday around 12:58, I said to the group, right? This was the ES chart. This is on my phone, of course. I was at the gym. All right. This is the ES, right? And so we came off that 42.80, right? And we dropped into that 42.40. That was our demand low. I said that's supply high to demand low. You know what I'm going to say. Smart trade is to take put profits, right? And so what does that mean, right? That is just simply trading levels and not being emotional. So yesterday, what did we do on the ES? We went from supply highs to demand lows. And that demand low was the exact low, right? And it was not, right? And this is where we have to accept what the level is, take our profits on downside, and accept that that level may hold. And the only trade at this point was longs, right? And look at what happened. So just a really nice example of levels yesterday, guys. One of the cleanest, just back and forth between two technical levels and opportunities to both sides without a doubt, right? Yesterday had opportunities to both sides. Very, very clean. I'm actually going to delete this level, guys, today. I think this 14.8 is an important level. However, I do not want to trade at 14.8 today, right? Because I know the larger term channel here is really 14.890 to 14.7. This is really the larger term channel. So I don't really know if I want to get involved at this 14.8 today. There might be some rejections at this 14.8 today, but I don't really like it as much as I would like a short here, right? And a long here. I don't think I want to be involved around that 14.8. I think it's a little bit difficult in there. So I'm actually going to remove that level from my charts today. I was thinking about doing that earlier, but now I'm sort of confirming that thought. 14.7, right, is our very obvious demand. It's not difficult to see. You can see right here, 14.7, the highs, 14.890, 14.9. You do the exact same thing today. The exact same thing. If we drop, you look to see if that demand comes in, right? For a long. If you drop and we break below, you look for the short. If we move higher, you don't long this. This is not a long, right? You may want to be long here. This is not a long. A long into these highs, the best opportunity for longing into these highs is from here, right? Where was the best long yesterday? Here, right? We're not going to just long right here in the middle of the channel because it could do this and then it could do this, right? Because we have no edge there. So I'm not going to, if the market goes up this morning, I'm not longing into 14,890, right? I am going to be looking for shorts at supply highs. Or I will look for longs on a break and hold above, right? That's my long opportunity. If we're going to move higher, I'm not going to long this. I'm going to wait for it to really want to go strong, right, to the upside. I want it to really confirm upside above the previous rejection. Then I'll look for the long. If not, I'm only looking for shorts. Same thing here. If we're moving lower today at the open, I am not shorting into a hole, right? I'm not going to short into the same level that has bounced the last 3 trading days. So I will look for a long off that 14.7. If we break below it, short into the 14.6. All right? Very clear levels, right? Very clear levels. You just have to build a game plan around them and trust it and not get tunnel vision intraday, right? Don't get sucked into some short-term candles that are pushing into a reactionary level, right? So if you were sucked into longs here yesterday and you didn't take profits at supply highs, you got smacked. If you were chasing shorts yesterday, right? Oh my God, we're moving lower. I'm entering shorts here, and you got absolutely smacked, right? If you're chasing it into these levels, you're going to get smacked. And that's just, right? Hey guys, we need that type of people. I'm hoping that the people that watch me, like the 2,000 of us that watch this channel, can be the ones that are on the right side of this. But we know there are millions of other traders that are doing that exact wrong thing, because if you're making money on this trade, that means that someone else is losing money, right? So if you longed here yesterday, if you shorted here yesterday, there were hundreds of thousands of other traders longing into supply and shorting into demand, right? That's just the simple fact of the matter. So hopefully, us watching this we can be the 2,000 people that make money on these moves. That's really the hope. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? The normal psychology is chase longs, chase shorts, but that's just amateur retail trading that we do not want to be a part of. So if we push higher today, you guys know the story. I'm not going to go over it. I hope that makes sense. Hopefully hopefully there's something that's clicking out there, guys. Hopefully it's clicking. So same thing on the QQQ, guys. 360, 356. It's the same damn thing. You can see yesterday, you can see the same demand, right? Same demand, same supply. So what are you watching today? You're waiting, you're sitting patient, you're having a beer, maybe a morning coffee, maybe a little bit of lunch. All you're doing is you're waiting for the cues to trade into here, or you're waiting for the cues to trade into here. That's it, right? That's your best opportunity today. If you simply did that yesterday, right, you had the best trades of the day. If you simply just waited for it to move here or move here, you had the best trade of the day, right? Anything else that was traded that wasn't here or wasn't here is all noise, right? You had the best trade opportunities at the levels yesterday. All you had to do was short the highs and buy the lows, and you had a fantastic day, all right? So why don't we do the same thing, right? Why are we walking into today thinking something different? Let's look for the same exact damn thing. Let's wait for this, right? Or let's wait for this. And if it doesn't hit, right, and we just avoided a shit show, right? So that's what I'll be doing today, right? After a little bit of, I would say I've had a decent week so far. I haven't had like my greatest week. It hasn't been like one of those really hot weeks for me. After a little bit of a slow start to the week, I'm going to try my best, right? And I'm human. Sometimes I get caught up in taking a trade. But today I'm going to try my best to try to just wait for those levels to hit before getting active. The ES is the exact same thing. I have nothing different on any of these futures charts, guys. It's the exact same thing. 4240 to 4280. There is nothing different, right? Exact same thing. 4240 to 4280 on the ES futures. You guys can see right here, this is yesterday's analysis that we provided. This means that we talked about it in the live stream, right? This was yesterday, ES Futures, 1024. This was the channel, right? 4240, 4280. And we basically just said ES is holding above 4240. The upside was able to retest our 4280 supply from Friday rejections. However, the 4280 still seems heavy. If we get a move towards that 4280 again, be cautious of potential rejections, right? That's exactly what happened. To get more upside, we will need a clean break and hold over 4280. That's the same exact concept we need today. As long as ES remains above 4240, I would assume the path of least resistance is towards the 4280 supply, right? So if you're looking to play long, look for that pullback and hold at 4240 for the best risk-reward long opportunity. Any longs near 4280 are at risk of a potential rejection again. I mean, we could not have read this more of a book. This was a second-grade book yesterday, and hopefully it's the same thing, right? Hopefully it's the same thing today. So 4280, 4240, just do the exact same thing today. Nothing changes. If you break and hold of a certain level, then you look for that change, right? If we break and hold one of these levels, right? Let's say, for example, the ES. This is where a trader's reactionary mentality is key, right? Because if we see a break and hold, then we need to be reaction, right? We need to react. We need to be good. We need to be able to react quickly to see if we are breaking the channel, right? If we break over 4280 today and hold, we need to be able to react quickly to that potential long. If we break under 4240 today and we hold below it, then we need to be able to react quickly to that potential short, right? That's where we have to be able to react to the price action that we're seeing. Next, SPY, same thing, 425, 420, 5-point range. That's it, all right? Hopefully the futures levels make sense to you guys. I'm telling you, and I'll tell you again, and I'll tell you 1,000 more times, watching futures charts is a 100% must if you want to be successful at trading. You have to be watching what the futures are doing. There is nothing else that is more important to understand where the overall market is, where the overall market could reject, where the overall market could find support. If you're not watching the futures while you're trading, you are basically trading with one eye closed. Right? I used to do that, and I cannot believe that I used to trade without watching the futures. I just can't believe it, right? What a mistake that was by me. So really, really important, and I hope that you guys being here hopefully is teaching you something along those lines. Hopefully it's helping you guys, all right? All right, so Tesla. Right? What did Tesla do yesterday? What an awesome little push into our supply on Tesla yesterday. I really like that, and I just missed it. And here, actually, you know what? This is a good example I want to bring up because this is something that will happen from time to time, right? I had someone in the group reach out to me and said, "Hey, man, like, why do you think I lost on this Tesla trade?" I did exactly what we did yesterday. I shorted Tesla at the supply on the Nasdaq. Right? And it just didn't work out. And so yesterday, guys, which is very, it's something that's going to happen. Tesla was basically just riding its own wave. It was sort of uncorrelated to the market in some regard. So just know when you guys are coming into the market and you're trading Tesla, you're trading, usually it's Tesla or Nvidia. Those are really the only two typically. Sometimes these stocks will have their own mind, right? They will not follow the market on certain times. It's not always that way, but there are definitely days where Tesla and Nvidia sometimes have their own mind, right? Sort of doing their own thing. It happens, right? And there's just something that you have to sort of accept. There's really no explanation for it. It's just something you have to accept. At times, you're going to get stuck in a Tesla move that's not correlated to the market at all, right? It's going to happen. It's happened to me many, many times. All right. So Tesla, big squeeze yesterday. Where did it squeeze into? Supply highs, right? At 221 and got close even to those supply highs at 223. What a fade. I mean, what a fade. I really am upset that I missed this fade yesterday. It was a very clean break and retest of 221 on the intraday. I was really spotting it out, talking to the group about it. I just never took it, man. I never took it. I was a little upset with myself. Right, because this little break back under 221 and the bounce back into it and the fail right here, this was a fantastic short entry yesterday. on the fail back into 221. So a little bit upset with myself that I didn't take that one. Whatever, it is what it is. Today, what I'm watching is 217 to 214, right? 217 to 214. But before we do this, before we get further into Tesla, no one can hit the like button, so it is ad time. Enjoy your ad. Hopefully it's a good one. Let me know what it is when you get back. Let me know what that ad is telling you. Let me just take a sip of coffee. I'm telling you guys, man, I'm not going to run ads if we just can hit 1,000 likes by 8:30. It's not that difficult. It's not that difficult. So here we go. Let's start again. 217, right? 217 on Tesla. 217 on Tesla. I'm going to get off the 2 minute. I'm not really going to watch this on the 2 minute chart here. Let's go 5 minute. And what we can see, right? We can clearly see 217 is an important level. No, we did not miss the cues. You did. I did not. You guys can see right here, 217, 217, 217, right? And 217. So you guys can see right here, that is a very important level, right? 217, 217, and 217. Hemorrhoid cream. So that is what we're watching today, right? Does Tesla reject 217 or does it break and hold above, right? Does it break and hold above or does it reject 217? That's the key today. That's what I will be watching. If it rejects there, I'll look for that downside towards that 214 demand low, right? We have some previous highs here, a little previous low at 214 there, some previous demand that stepped in the after hours pre-market. I think you'll probably see some support step up around this 214. Now, if Tesla gets under 214, gets under previous day lows, I think you could see more downside. I think that's very possible. So what I'm watching, the range today on Tesla, 217, 214. And I'm really not that confident on upside on Tesla into this, like even into this this is like this 218, 218.50. It's not really that clear here though. Right? It's really not that clear, but we look at these rejections that stepped up yesterday around this level, right? You see these rejections here? See this little area? I'm not really too fond of playing upside into that, and into this. That's Friday highs, actually. So Friday highs right there rejected in the pre-market yesterday and rejected late day yesterday on Tesla as well. So if we get over 217, I would be, again, a little bit cautious. Look at this Friday high over here. Let me zoom back into that. Friday high, right? You can see right here. Friday high around this 218.50. What was the exact high? Yeah, let's put it at 219, right? See this Friday high right here? 219. Let's move this over, and I'll show you where that comes in, right? Look at the rejection yesterday up here near this 219. Look at the rejections late day yesterday towards this 219 as well. Right, so if we do get over 217, be careful of being long into Friday highs 219. Right, be a little bit cautious there. Yesterday highs were near that 221. So Tesla's interesting, man, because the way that this chart is right now, it's going to have a lot of sellers. Right, the way that this chart is right now, it's going to have a lot of sellers sort of stacked up, right? Because you have a lot of previous pivot points. One here, right? Previous lows here, previous highs here, another high here. A lot of areas for potential rejections. Friday highs, right? You can see here, this is Thursday highs right here. Over here, this is Thursday's, another rejection point from Thursday. So right here you have Thursday, right? Thursday. You have Thursday after hours, 221. Then you have Friday highs right here at 219. All right, so a lot of levels to be cautious of if you're trading Tesla upside. It's going to be a little bit difficult to get that strong upside move unless this thing just squeezes through it all, right? Maybe there's a day where it squeezes through it all, but it's a little bit tough, right? A little bit tough to get behind. I would be a little bit more interested to see if we can get 217 rejections. That might be the cleanest trade of the day. Just see if we can reject Monday's highs here, right? See these Monday highs? That might be the cleanest one to watch for. under 217. Something I'll be watching today. All right, Nvidia. So Nvidia basically is stuck in a 10-point range, right? 10-point range on Nvidia. That's what we're looking at here. So right here on Nvidia, guys, you can see we're holding above that 428, 430. That's very key, right? That's sort of maintaining the Nvidia price action. We have previous lows at 430, previous rejections at 430, 428, previous hold here, and yesterday another hold, right? So this is a very important demand for Nvidia. We held it very strong yesterday, which led to that upside push. Now, that upside push, where it came in and where it started to reject is that 100 SMA and that 440 level, right? So that's going to be the tough spot above. That 100 SMA, that 440 supply, that's going to be your tough spot to get above on Nvidia. Now, I will say, as long as Nvidia is above this 430, I would say the tendency is for it to try to push to the upside, right? I would say as long as it's above that 428, 430, the tendency is for it to try to push towards the upside, towards the supply. I would only, get aggressive on shorts if Nvidia can give up that low, right? If Nvidia can give up that low, that's where it can really get aggressive and will be more interesting on the downside. You could try to play the 10-point range, right, on the short, but the way Nvidia is, I don't really like to short it on, in these tight channels. Nvidia is typically a very strong stock. I think we all should know that. So what I would be more interested in is probably this short, right? If we can break and hold below yesterday's lows, if I see that, that's really the only place I'd be interested in the short side today. For the long side, you could look for that drop and demand bounce. I think that's very possible. You could also look for the break and hold above the 100 SMA. That could be very interesting as well, right? If Nvidia gets on one today and it starts to do its thing, right, and it starts to get above the 100, starts to hold above the 100, that could be an interesting one. So either way, very clear levels to be watching, 440, 430, 428, right? Very clear channel. Pay attention to it on Nvidia today. All right. AMD. This one's sort of interesting. Whoops, what did I do? Oh. AMD. So short-term AMD really is holding this 200 SMA. All right. This 200 SMA below. I'm going to turn this red. I'm going to turn it thick. You guys can see right here, that 200 SMA below is continuing to hold AMD higher. You can see it on Monday of this week. You can see it yesterday. Look at that long opportunity off the 200 again yesterday. Look how perfect that was. Another fantastic long off the 200 SMA. Right here at this $99.50, $100 level. Beautiful stuff. Now, how long until this might create an actual long opportunity, like a longer dated long opportunity? I think if AMD can break over this high, if AMD can get above this 102.40 high, this 102.40 high, and if it starts to turn this into a new support, right, I think this can start to move. And the reason for that is because it is coming off a very strong hold below at the 200 SMA, which I like, right? Which I like. So I'll be watching that, right? If the market starts to gain strength, if AMD starts to gain strength, I want to know that I can catch a really nice risk-reward long off the 200, something that traditionally can hold the stock higher. Now, on the flip side, if the market starts to get weak, right? If earnings season starts to get ugly, if we start to get some bad tech earnings and tech starts to get sort of hit, if AMD gives up this 100 and this $100 level and the 200 SMA, right, that could definitely lead to some downside opportunities here, right? So if we zoom out here on an AMD, if we start to lose that 200 SMA here, we lose the previous demand here, right? This could absolutely set us up for that continuation of downtrend, right? The continuation of downtrend, which is very much there, and a rejection, right? And a move down into that 95 area, that 95.60 area. That's very possible as well. So key levels here on AMD, man. This is a very influential point for it. You can see the 200 SMA. Look at what it did previously, right? And this is why I'm interested. Look at that. Just take a second and take in what happened at the 200 SMA here, right? Look what happened back here. Very strong hold, led to a big upside opportunity, right? And what is it doing again? Sort of pulling back to the 200, right? Does this stair step? Is this a higher low, right? Market structure. Is this a higher low? And does this create the next long opportunity on AMD at this 200 SMA? Something I'll be absolutely monitoring. And if I start to get any hint of strength over here, I might try that long off the 200. This is the same concept as Apple, right? Let's skip to Apple because this is the exact same concept that I have here on Apple. So if I zoom out on Apple, right, this is the exact same thought process that I currently have. So you can see the 200 SMA is curling higher and it's holding at this, Apple's continuing to hold this level. Now, I don't think Apple is anywhere near ready for that strike, right? I don't think you're ready to take that trade yet because Apple really has not shown any strength. But this 200 SMA, sort of interesting, right? Sort of interesting. If we go to the daily chart on Apple, we can definitely see the potential of some type of a downtrend, slow downtrend, sort of flag pattern, 200 SMA, maintaining price action, and maybe a breakout into end of year, something along those lines, right? I brought this up yesterday. I just wanted to give you an update. That is still a very interesting thought for me. I think you're probably going to need to break out of this shit show of price action before you even consider trading this because it is really dead here, right? Apple is pretty dead around this 174, 175 area. You can see it is just unable to get above this area. It keeps rejecting 174. You have previous lows at 175. It looks dead, man. It looks dead. So the trade is not there yet, and I'm not going to be longing off the 200 here yet. But I will monitor, right? If I start to see any hint of strength step up, something I will be monitoring, all right? Let's go Google, Microsoft, Netflix. Google, Microsoft, Netflix. Google. So what am I looking for on Google today? It's pretty clear for me. I really hope I get it. We'll see. I might not, but maybe I will. So here we go. This is what I'm looking for. I am looking for Google to bounce off the 100 SMA, right? Bounce into this previous high at 134, right? Bounce into this previous low at 134, into this previous low at 134. I am looking for it to bounce, reject, and I'm looking to short it off that, right? Bounce, reject here, and short it off that, right? That's what I'm looking for today on Google. That's the only thing. The only thing I'll be watching. I'm not going to short into the 100, right? It's not what I'm interested in. I'm not interested in shorting into the level that's holding right now, which is the 100 SMA right here. I don't want to short into that. What I want to see is a bounce higher into the exact level that, oh, wow, this actually rejected post-earnings. Look at that. Look at the rejection at 134. I didn't even realize this. So that's exactly what I want. That makes me even more confident on this trade. I want a bounce on Google off the 100 SMA. Oops. I want it to push into 134, right? I want it to push into here. I want it to start to reject, and then I want to look for that short off that level. That's what I will be watching on Google. If it gets above 134, then I'm not interested. Microsoft. So Microsoft needs to hold above 340 for upside, all right? The expected move yesterday, I think, was about 12. Was it 12? Or, yeah, it was like 12-ish, 13-ish. So I think it's like right above the expected move. So calls possibly could appreciate this morning. And this 340 area is perfect, right? Look at this 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart on Microsoft. You can see right here. This is 340, right? Look at that previous high at 340. And look at where you're holding right now, right? Look at where you're holding right now, 340. If I go to the 5-minute chart, look at that hold, right? Look at this hold at 340. Why is it holding here? Well, if I go back, let's say I go to the 20, let's go to the 1-hour chart. Let's get a little bit more time. God damn it. Sometimes I hate navigating TOS. What is this, right? This previous high right here, 340. What is that? Boom. Look at that hold, right? So, very nice. Right? Very nice. Very nice. 340. So that's the level to watch. If you can hold above that level, I think Microsoft can continue higher today. All right. And the level to be watching above, I think, is this 350. This 350, I think, gets a little heavy. So be careful up here, right? I'd be careful getting too aggressive on longs into 350, right? Why 350? I'll show you right now. Let me just turn this red. 350, rejection, 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 rejection. That's no joke. That's no joke. That is no joke at 350, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and yesterday post earnings 5. I would be very cautious up here at 350. If you want to get some serious upside on Microsoft, you're going to want a break and hold above 350. If you can start to see 350 turn into support, then you go for it, right? But again, right, guys, again, this all goes back. Let me just preface this, right? And something that, I don't want to discourage you from trading something that's moving strong like this, right? But you have to decide if you want to be a trader that jumps onto, shiny objects, which can work at times, or if you want to be the trader that sticks to the same thing at all times, right? The same strategy, avoid shiny objects, continues to stay consistent, right? So for me, like, Microsoft will be something I watch, but am I going to be, guns blazing trying to trade Microsoft after it's straight up post earnings? No, because I know, that's not part of my strategy. Part of my strategy is not to trade straight up moves post earnings or straight up moves at any moment, right? I don't care if it's post earnings. I don't care if it's without earnings. It's just not something I'm going to be chasing, right? I think the higher probability for me is to lose on this trade because of sort of the emotions that sort of are compiled into this move. So, it depends, right? I know there's money to be made. I'm just not the guy that's going to be, I need a pullback, right? That basically what I'm trying to say is I want the pullback. The pullback is really where I want to trade it. So if I can get this, right? Sure. If I can get this, yes, right? Love that. That's where I really want to long Microsoft. I want to long Microsoft here. I want to long Microsoft here. I don't really want to long Microsoft into this 350. I'm really not even confident of longing it above 350 because that would just be an insane gap and go, which is sometimes pretty dangerous. So what I really want is pullbacks and long opportunities on these pullbacks, just so I don't feel like I'm chasing this thing to the upside and maybe sort of alters my trading in some regard, right? I have to make sure that I remain in a confident and sort of comfortable mentality, and the only way for me to do that is to stick to something I'm used to. And me, getting excited about trading Microsoft because of a post-earnings move, it can definitely mess with your head, right? It can mess with your head because you can get excited about the move. You'll get emotional, right? And I know you have to be cognizant of that as a trader. Be cognizant that, hey, if I trade Microsoft, I may have some elevated emotions here. It might sort of mess me up. And there's nothing wrong with that. You got to be able to accept that. And for me, it will absolutely elevate my emotions, right? So something I'll wait for more pullbacks, something I'll just sort of monitor, see if there's a cleaner, more slow pullback that I can take advantage of before just jumping out of the gates today and trying to trade Microsoft. So Netflix, last one I got for you guys today, very clean stuff here. This is really clean. Netflix is a strong stock right now. Held this demand beautifully. Double top highs. Look what it did yesterday at the double top highs. Turned it into support very nicely, right? Look how clean that yesterday, or that double top high turned into support yesterday. What I would be careful of is that 100 SMA, right? Am I looking to long Netflix into the 100 SMA? No, right? No. I'm looking for a pullback to that 410, right? Or I'm even looking for a pullback to that 398. I'm not going to be looking to long into the 100 SMA. If you can break and hold above it, maybe you can get aggressive on it, right? If you can break and hold above the 100, maybe you can get aggressive on it. But please be cautious that the 100 is getting a little bit, seeing some rejections at this 100 here, around 416, all right? 416, a little bit heavy there. All right, guys, that's all I got. NASDAQ, same channel, nothing going on. ES, same channel, nothing going on, right? Make sure you understand that the market is not moving. So what kind of moves can you expect? Probably quick scalp opportunities, right? Nothing. You can't marry a certain direction in this market, man. If you married a direction yesterday, you were wrong like 3 times, right? If you married upside yesterday morning, you were wrong. If you married the midday downside, you were wrong. If you married the late day upside, you were wrong, right? So this is the way the market is, right? This is the way the market is, and we have to accept it, right? No matter we have to be able to react to market conditions, right? And so you could not hold a single direction. You could not marry a single direction all day yesterday. You would have been wrong 4 times. So if you get an upside move, take profits. If you get a quick downside move, take profits. If you catch this upside move, take profits, right? And continue to do that and stay consistent and protect your money, all right? Because the market is still in a channel and it can still do this many, many times, right? And it can continue to do this until you lose your mind, right? Until you lose your mind. So just play the levels. Don't marry positions. Keep your emotions out of it. All right, guys? Press that like button if you could. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the live streams. I'm going to head out of here, head over to the chat. If you want to trade live with us, check it out down below. Every single day, trading live with the group, talking through market commentary, guiding the futures levels. It's a great group. Come hang out. Come join it. You joined the Discord, like your analysis and clarity. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Brian, thanks for supporting the stream. New York, thanks for Amazon trade. I appreciate that, New York. Thank you, brother. All right, guys, press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.